Howard Hughes.
Yeah. God, yeah. He's the bee's knees of trusts. He only had 2 trusts. One was a for-profit making trust, and the other one was a non-for-profit making trust.
Okay.
And the for-profit making corporation, because all corporations are trusts, but not all trusts are corporations, you see.
Right, okay.
So, the for-profit company made planes, and then he had a hospital, which he gave the company, the airplane making company, he gave to the hospital, which was a private trust, a non-for-profit making trust. And the non-for-profit making trust rented out everything that the airplane company needed to make the airplanes.
Mm-hmm.
And the charges he was charging them was always higher than the airplane company could afford. But it was paying to a trust that he was administering. So he could allow it to run bankrupt. And it was always paying the non-for-profit making company, which never got taxed because it was a charity. And it actually, sort of owned the airplane company because he'd gifted it to them in trust.
I see, I get it, yeah. Didn't he make a Hollywood film about Howard Hughes?
Yeah, with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Was it Aviator?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one, I remember it now, yeah.
And now he's in Inception, isn't he, Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah, absolutely, that's getting a lot of people's attention in this movement of ours, you could say. And
he also played Frank Abagnale as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's the guy that every time I think of Leonardo DiCaprio, I think of that character.
Yeah, so he switched on, like.
The one that forged all the checks and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he was an air pilot, wasn't he, for a few weeks?
Yeah. That's a good one, that one.
Yeah. So that would be the classic one, Howard Hughes' trusts,
It's definitely something to look at again, because obviously there are a lot of stories and there is a lot of evidence, but you've got to look at it with fresh eyes. You start reading old books, like Dickens, for example, or watching a film, and you see it in a completely different way when you realise that, there's another meaning behind it all as well.
Well, the ones I used to watch really that really fresh in my eyes would be a lot of the, like, Jet Li and Jackie Chan movies, or the Chinese Kung Fu movies.
Yeah.
We'd always get a guy who'd like, get killed on top of a mountainside, but he'd somehow manage to get the sword, to the next guy.
Yeah.
And in honour then, in chivalry, like, that guy would have to do whatever it is, that the sword was asking of him, like, to be honourable and to look after the people and all like that.
Exactly.
And he was basically the trustee.
Too right, yeah. Well, like in martial arts and in the Oriental culture, there's a lot more emphasis on honour and dishonour, isn't there?
Well, they because of the size of their population and the scope of their language, the detailing of, emotions and, things that we sort of like put in little boxes, their boxes are much more finer, so the descriptions of things are much more colourful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I watched, actually it was fantastic. Did you see the Rothschild movie there?
Oh, I haven't seen it yet,
Oh, it was fantastic. It's called The House of Rothschild.
Yeah, I've downloaded it several times. I just keep running out of space and then deleting it and downloading it again. I've never actually got through it yet.
Oh, you want to hear the things Nathan Rothschild's talking about? He's talking about he wants to, bring peace, be honourable, live in dignity, live through love.
Great.
I mean, the guy is my new hero.
Oh, I'll have to watch it, that'll be worth it.
It's awesome, yeah. And it was a bit of a ruse as well, similar to the Robin Hood story.
Yeah.
It came out in 1939. And in The House of Rothschild, it depicts the Germans, the Austrians and the Italians as being the bad guys.
Yeah.
Who does England go to war with?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great when you look back at this type of stuff.
some of them old movies, honest to God, because they didn't really dote on TV and they'd done a lot of reading. They had a lot of animation in their life. They were very high-spirited and upbeat.
That's it.
And you can see it in the performances of the people who are acting out the characters.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Yeah. And they all tend to be very lean and, very well spoken, and it's really refreshing,
It is, definitely. I agree with you on that one. I mean, it's very rare now that I would actually, I would only go to the cinema to watch something that I knew was going to be, I mean, you can't know how good it's going to be, but most of the stuff that comes out now in the cinema is trash.
I've never been to the cinema since Jaws or something like that. Or James Bond, I think I went.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one where the Korean guy turned from Korean to white.
Which one?
I don't know which one it is. Tomorrow Never Lives or something.
I know there's one called
2002.
It was terrible though, that one, wasn't it? Was that a terrible one?
I thought it was cool because, them North Koreans, what the fucking hell are they up to? Pardon my French there.
Right, say what you like on this show.
Sounds. What's going on? We've got all these conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Well, North Korea is kind of like the place I look at a lot.
Yeah.
Because I think that place, it's got tons of hidden tunnels and bunkers and all sorts of places under the ground, yeah. Well, if NWO or whatever were going to create a hybrid army, they could mix people with dogs, people with horses, all that sort of mythological stuff.
Yeah.
They could easily create in a place like North Korea where no people are allowed.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's really, really cool. That one, because they changed him from being a North Korean to a European guy,
Yeah, that's it. He was the one that got blasted in the face with,
Yeah,
that's it. It was the same one with the invisible car, was it?
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, that's what put me off. It's probably one of
Oh, well, if you go on YouTube and type in invisible jacket, you can see the Japanese technology where they've invented an invisible jacket.
Absolutely. There's even a video where there's apparently one of the guys in the military in Iraq running across the screen, where his outfit will decloak just as he gets back into the tank. I don't know if you've seen that one.
Which one's that?
It's very similar to what you're talking about with the kids wearing the invisible jacket. There's actually a video filmed apparently by some of the insurgents. There's an IED goes off in the road, and I think there's one of the vehicles might be temporarily out of action, or they just stop to patrol the area. And what happens is you see this figure slightly blurred across the screen, like someone's running really fast. And then you see some guys getting out of this tank or this jeep, and they've all got the guns, and they're walking or they're jogging a lot slower. And then you see this guy run back across the screen. You can only just make it out because it looks like he's like something from Predator.
Right.
As he starts climbing back up onto the tank, he sort of materializes, and you can see him completely. And that video has been shared around to say that that's a guy wearing this
cloak.
This cloak technology that obviously displays the light with nanotechnology.
I watched Kathy O'Brien, and she was saying about forget all the technology that we think is new, because it's all about 30 or 40 years behind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So basically, they can do anything, but they are us, and we're kind of not seeing the bigger picture really in so much as, which is where what Batman's talking about comes in perfectly, is that everything is all internal, and we're missing the point.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that I'll just mention here, and I'm kind of going to be writing a letter soon. I've been trying to form it in my mind as to how to present myself. But I guess I'll just have to do it, because otherwise I'm never going to do it. In the, and it spins right off from what Batman's saying, is that the Crown own the name, so it's obviously their duty to deal with it. Now, in the Sheriff's Act of 1887, page 17, which is the declaration that a sheriff or under-sheriff will take, it says that I will harm no man, or something like that. And then it says, when presented with a debt or sum owed belonging to the Crown, you know, I'll make sure that the Crown gets it. I'll acquit it at the Exchequer. Well, the word acquit means to settle.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
So we can't physically pay anything for using all these debt notes and everything.
That's right.
So, yeah. So the way I'm looking at it now is give it to the sheriff. Or, I'm thinking anyway, that's how it looks from the statute. He's bound to acquit any debts or sums due to the Crown. And, you know, he should do it because he's made a declaration to, but he's never got any evidence to work with.
Yeah,
no one's ever said, yeah.
Yeah, makes sense, it does.
It does, yeah. So that's our next little line of, I'll say attack, but our next little line of love. So yeah, it's all starting to fit in nicely, and it is all coming from ancient rites and customs. You know, we're still the people that we read about in, you know, from mythology through to fairy stories to,
absolutely,
you know, yeah, we're just the same, yeah.
We're still talking about trust and law and equity. In terms of debt, as we know, there is no real money in circulation to pay a debt off with, because it's all...
Really? Oh shit.
Would you agree with that, or would you disagree with that?
Yeah, I'd agree, yeah.
Yeah. So, a lot of people now who are taking the fight back with love, of course,
Right.
are obviously starting with debt. I mean, what experience have you got that you can tell us about, where, you know, with your paperwork or what's happened?
Well, I've done so much study, and I've been into courts, and I've done this and that, and then listening to, I got sent an email from a guy I know in San Francisco, and he said, have a listen to this audio, see what you think. So I listened to it. It was this guy called Batman, and he was saying, like, you know, I went into a court, and I just said to them, I'm a friend of the court, I'm here to help settle the matter.
Yeah.
And is there any evidence to suggest that I hold any liability for the name?
Yeah.
And the judge was just like gobsmacked, and he said the barrister was going absolutely crazy across the way there. And he said if he'd have known what he knows now, if he'd have known it then, he could have got that barrister shot on the spot for a war crime.
Wild.
Yeah. Because he asked who's bringing the claim.
Right.
Yeah. And the lawyer, like, said, I'm bringing the claim to the court. Now, what's happened there is that, because he's bringing the claim to the court, and the name belongs to the Crown.
Yeah.
The lawyer has just admitted that they're making a claim against the Crown.
I see, yeah.
Which is an act of war.
Right, yeah.